What's good, YouTube? It's your boy 2K the God, my man Cess. Welcome to the Gods of Boxing Talk. Now, for this segment, we want to do what's hot. And what's hot right now? Boy, oh boy, that girl beautiful than a motherfucker. That's a fine ass motherfucker, dog. Ain't nothing sexier than a fine motherfucker, and she dominant at what she does.
Oh yeah.
No, we not talking about Holly Holm. Miss Cecilia Braekhus, okay? She just had a fight this past Saturday, a rematch against Sophie Mathis, okay? And if you guys don't already know, she is the WBC, WBA, WBO, IBF, and the IBO women's welterweight champion of the world. This was her fourth defense of all four titles, her fourth time defending being the undisputed champion in that division. But this is her 19th defense as a world champion. All right, she's been champion since 2009. If you don't know who she is, before this fight, she was 28-0 with 7 knockouts. She was the Floyd Mayweather of women's, or is the Floyd Mayweather of women's boxing, just because she's so fucking dominant. Okay. Now her style, her style is similar to a Carlos Cuadras. She likes to, she can throw combinations at you. Then she'll get back on her bicycle and use most of the range. She'll stop, get back, throw combinations, then use most of the ring again. She likes to punch off her back foot, but add in the technical ability. She's a very good counter puncher. She can also defend very well. It's two things that Carlos Cuadras really doesn't have in his arsenal. She can stand there and plant. You know what I'm saying? If you over exceed on her ass, she'll counter you. Or if you're not doing anything, well, she'll just throw combinations at you and go and move laterally all around the ring. Very, very excellent fighter. Very good offensive arsenal. Very good defensively. She beat the dog shit out of Sophie Mathis in this rematch, bro. It was a knockout in the second round. She retained all 4 of her major titles and 1 of her minor titles. Second round knockout, man. Basically what happened was Sophie Mathis is in a fucking orthodox stance. Somebody with, Braekhus' IQ, you cannot drop your left hand when you're throwing the straight right. Vice versa, you're in a southpaw. You cannot drop your right hand when you're throwing the straight left. That's what she did. She dropped that hoe like this, threw the straight right. Wasn't even nowhere near Braekhus anyway. Braekhus just kind of slipped, threw an overhand right. It was actually a hook. Right over that fucking that drop left hand. Hit her. Okay, Sophie Mathis kind of leans in on her. You know what I'm saying? She hurt. She hurt in the motherfucker. Leans in on her. Braekhus pushes off. And me and my man Cess, we work on that all the time in the gym.
Oh, yeah.
Hold each other, push off, come with that straight right hand. Only difference here was, it was another right hook. She pushed off, came across, flush ass right hook. Now, the crazy thing about this is when she pushed off, it was kind of like Sophie Mathis was waiting on the referee to get in between.
Yeah.
Cess mentioned that she looked like she was quitting. I don't know what it was, but when she pushed off, Mathis's hands were completely down. Like her face was like this.
Oh yeah, it was wide open.
Wide open, B. And Cecilia was like, okay. Take that right hook. Hit her, hurt her again, wobbled her. Then she tried to put her guard up, but at that point it was too late. Braekhus landed 3 more right hooks. Left fucking Sophie Mathis slumped over the ropes like this and shit, bro. Yeah. Game over, B. Now, the crazy part about this is a prime example of why defense is a major component of boxing. You have to defend yourselves at all time. Go back and watch this fight, fam. If y'all haven't watched it, watch this fight and look at how hurt Sophie Mathis is at the end of this fight. She's literally slumped over the top rope, her head down like this and shit. I mean, she looked like she's seriously fucking hurt, right? Yeah. But Braekhus, as I mentioned before this fight, she was 28-0 with only 7 knockouts, all right? With this win, she's 29-0 with 8 knockouts. That's only a 28% KO rate. That's Polly Malignaggi Sergio Mora. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It don't matter how hard motherfuckers hit. If they hit you in the right spot, you will get knocked the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? If you don't defend yourself properly, as Mathis did when Braekhus pushed off of that clinch and her face is wide open like this, she got hit with a flush right hook that put her ass to sleep. And then 3 more that put her to sleep, actually. Okay? It does. This is a prime example of the most softest punchers can still knock you the fuck out.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
For all you young boxing fans out there and you know, you guys that aspire to be boxers, don't go in there like a Brandon Rios.
No.
Get your defensive game up, B. Or you'll end up getting knocked out like Brandon Rios just did.
Yeah.
Right? Congratulations to Cecilia Braekhus. She remains the most dominant woman fighter out there right now. Even more dominant than Chris Cyborg, in my opinion, out of the UFC right now. I don't know who's gonna beat her. She's 35 years old right now. Motherfuckers just gotta hope that she continues on fighting into her 40s, because even at 35, she still looks very good and very unbeatable. Yeah. They just gotta hope she keeps fighting into her 40s and gets old and shit, and then they can take advantage of her old ass arthritis having ass arms and shit like that. Because this motherfucker's not getting beat, bro.
Word.
Not getting beat. Next! We had a couple of fights this weekend. You know, some were, you know, on the docket that I really didn't give a fuck about. But, you know, since we got this channel up, we got to cover, you know, the majority of shit that goes on. One of these fights I really didn't give a fuck was Nathan Cleverly versus Jurgen Brammer. Now, Jurgen Brammer is the epitome of a fucking paper champion, by the way. Yeah. I mean, this is a guy who was on his, I believe, his 7th title defense of the WBA title. And, you know, you got guys like Sergey Kovalev and Donna Stevenson. Now Andre Ward's there. You got Isaac Chalemba. You got Artur Beterbiev. You got Alida Alvarez. You got a lot of guys at 175 that can present a challenge. Jurgen Brammer, not only has he never left the fucking country of Germany, but he fought nobody in his previous 6 title defenses. Absolutely fucking nobody.
Nobody.
Okay? He fought motherfuckers that weren't even really ranked. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, here's another guy, Nathan Cleverly. He had pretty much just lost his last fight to Andres Fonfara, which was a Fight of the Year candidate last year.
Yeah.
A fight that both motherfuckers combined for like 2,000 punches or some shit. And the fight set like a light heavyweight divisional record. But you got to face it, Nathan Cleverly lost his last fight. He should not have been defending his title against a guy that lost his last fight. Okay? And he paid for it dearly. He lost his fight. Now, I'm going to let Cez go into it, but first I want to give my assessment a little bit. All 3 judges had Jurgen Brammer up at the time of the stoppage. Now, the reason why there was a stoppage...
Okay.
Yo, they in Germany, B. You know how Germany is, man.
Yeah.
All 3 judges had Jurgen Brammer up at the time of the stoppage. They had him up by 2 rounds. All 3 judges had to score 58 to 56. The fight was stopped in the beginning of the 7th round before it started. Jurgen Brammer apparently dislocated his elbow. Now, Nathan Cleverly did exactly what the last guy did to beat Jurgen Brammer, and that's Hugo Hernan Garay, who was the previous WBA 175-pound title holder. He was the last guy to beat Jurgen Brammer, and the way he beat him is he brought the fight to him. He didn't allow him mid-range distance. Jurgen Brammer has terrible footwork, so if you crowd him and you smother him with punches, motherfucker don't know how to defend himself properly. He don't know how to move laterally. He only moves backwards and forwards. He tries to move laterally, but he stumbles and shit because he's off balance as a fighter. He tries to be a boxer, but again, his footwork won't allow him to be that. So he just ends up being an amateurish looking guy at mid-range distance. You know what I'm saying? Which is probably why his handlers didn't have him fighting the likes of Beterbiev, Kovalev, Donna Stevenson, because he probably would have got knocked the fuck out within 5 rounds in any of those guys. So, Cleverly brought the fight to him. I had Cleverly winning the fight, time of the stoppage. I don't know what the German fucking judges were looking at. Cleverly he was on par to throw 1,200 punches in this fight if the fight would have actually went 12 rounds. He did exactly what Garay did when he beat him. And, I mean, it is what it is. He's the deserving champion right now. Seth.
What up?
What do you think about this fight, B?
Ah, man. First off, let me say congratulations to Nathan Cleverly for winning the WBA. I believe it was a WBA regular championship.
I don't give a fuck. Neither one of these motherfuckers should have been champion, but go ahead.
Yeah. So, congrats to him for winning that belt. The one thing that I've always kind of liked about Nathan Cleverly is he's at least game. He comes into every fight. He's got kind of that fighter's confidence. I remember when he fought Kovalev.
Yeah.
He really thought he was going to beat Kovalev. You know, he went in there and, you know, he gave it his all until Kovalev stopped him.
Yep.
But that is the one thing I like about Nathan Cleverly is I get the feel that he doesn't mind challenging himself. Jurgen Brammer is one of those guys that I just couldn't fucking stand because of exactly what you mentioned earlier. He's one of those guys that will never, ever step up. As long as you allow him to fight the type of competition that he's fought, he'll do that until he retires, and that's just what it is.
Yep.
You know, he'll never come outside of Germany, and that's what he'll continue to do. So that's the reason why I do like the fact that Nathan Cleverly went over there and took the title from Jurgen Brammer. Now, in regards to the fight, both fighters did their best impersonation of Rock'em Sock'em Robots. You know, when we were kids, they had, you know, one robot was red, the other robot was blue. You couldn't really go anywhere. All you could do was punch each other until somebody's head popped off. Yeah. And that's exactly what this fight was. Nathan Cleverly did exactly what you said he did. He came straight forward and he let his fucking hands go every second of every round until the stoppage. Yep. It was almost reminiscent of what he was able to do with Andreas Fonfara. The only difference is Fonfara was a different type of fighter, and he is just as game, if not more game, than Nathan Cleverly.
Fonfara is a good boxer, and he can fucking move. Jurgen Brammer couldn't move. That was the problem. My bad.
He's right in front. No. He's right in front of you, and that was the problem. At times, I thought that Jurgen Brammer, he just looked uncomfortable. He looked very uncomfortable. He was trying to create space to get his left hand off and to slip little shots in here and there. But I think this is what happens when you don't fight anybody.
Yep.
You get yourself in these type of situations where a guy's really fighting you, and you're almost like, "Hey, man, what the fuck are you doing? Why you trying to win?" You know? Yeah. And that's pretty much how Jurgen Brammer looked. He just looked very uncomfortable. He looked like he was mentally out of the fight before he physically quit on his stool. Yeah. You know, I don't know if there was a dislocated elbow or some type of an elbow injury. I didn't see anything significant in the fight that would have caused it. You know, aside from some punches from Nathan Cleverly, but Cleverly wasn't hitting the elbows a lot. He was hitting, now, don't get me wrong, he was hitting Jurgen Brammer everywhere, but a lot of times he would throw some decoy punches and then he would come with something hard. Yeah. You know, so I don't know why Jurgen Brammer quit. The only thing that I can think of is that this guy was really taking it to him. He knew he was losing the fight, and he didn't have what it takes to continue. When you're a champion, there are just some things that a very, very, very tough-minded fighter wouldn't do. Right. You know, and that's quit. A lot of these guys, man, I think of fucking Arthur Abraham.
There you go. I was waiting to say it. Yep. You know, motherfucker was like,
what'd you say, 2K?
His face was like this, bro.
Yeah, exactly. My dude's jaw's hanging off, and he's fighting one of the hardest punchers at the time in Edison Miranda. Yeah. And he's steady continuing. Yeah. So when you're a champion, man, and that title, that status, and just being a prideful individual, when that means a lot to you, you don't do this. You know, Jurgen Brammer was fully aware of everything that he was doing. Yep. He wasn't holding, grabbing. He was fully aware of what he was doing. He was in his corner, and he was just like, I can't do it, you know. So, but you know, it is what it is. I guess I have to take his word for it. I wasn't in there. I'm not him, so I really don't know what he was experiencing or what he was going through. The thing that I do like is now that Nathan Cleverly is WBA regular champion, he said, look, I'm open to a rematch. I'd love to have a rematch with him, but we're going to have to do it in Wales.
Yes, sir.
And that's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Yep.
Take Jurgen Brammer out of his fucking comfort zone and fight him somewhere that he's not used to going and fighting. You know, so that's what I liked. I appreciated that both guys could actually say that Nathan Cleverly, having just won a title, could say, hey, he's got an automatic rematch clause, bring him on, but we doing it in my backyard. So when they do fight again, hopefully Nathan Cleverly will beat him again. I don't think he has to do anything differently. I don't think he should. Exactly. I don't think he should do anything differently. Go in there with the same game plan and fucking beat Jurgen Brammer. Yeah. And my last point is, Brammer did say that he's 37, and at that age, you do have to start thinking about things like, you know, exposing your body or overexposing your body to certain punishment. So I get where he was I get where he was coming from, but still not a good look.
Yeah,
exactly. Bro. Yeah. Hey, I'm with you.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, you know what? He right. He's 37. The motherfucker still fight at a goddamn C+ level, B- at best. Yeah, you should think about what you should do next, because I don't think you should be fighting no more, bro.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't think so either.
If he was the type of fighter that people, or that his people, let me put it that way, his people want us to think, he should have ran over Nathan Cleverly. Yeah, Nathan Cleverly is on a downward spiral when it comes to his career, bro. Yeah, and he actually revitalized Nathan Cleverly by losing this fight. Okay,
absolutely.
Now he probably would have gone on to win on a robbery, possibly.
That's just what I was thinking.
Yeah, just based on these judges' scorecards. But Nathan Cleverly, win or lose, career was revitalized because a guy like Jurgen Brammer can't really beat him at this age. To fight.
I don't think so.
They're supposed to fight 5 years ago. Okay, this is they're both two-time champions at 175. Nathan Cleverly was a WBO champion and he lost it to Sergey Kovalev, right? And then when Jurgen Brammer was a WBO champion, Nathan Cleverly was supposed to fight him, but Brammer didn't take the fight and he got stripped. And then that's when Cleverly fought. I think his name was like Andrei Klizamov or some shit like that. He fought that cat and won the WBA title, the vacant. So, yeah, this was a fight that was supposed to happen 5 years ago. And to be honest, Nathan Cleverly was at a better point in his career 5 years ago. Yeah. He would have fucking beat him again.
Yep.
Anyways, man, so let's see if they get a rematch. If they get a rematch, I hope it's in Wales. Again, I'm not interested in seeing that shit, but since we cover boxing, we will have to watch it, I guess. Next! Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. So, there's a lot of controversy swirling around Joseph Parker's last 2 wins. Now, a lot of motherfuckers don't know this shit, B. And, you know, yeah, exactly. A lot of motherfuckers are not saying nothing about this, okay? The fight against Alexander Dmytryk, by the way, Joseph Parker knocks him out in the, second round, I believe it is? Knocks him out in the second or third round, right? He goes to 21-0 with 18 knockouts. Now, he's a very good fighter. He's a good fighter on the come up. He will be an excellent challenge to Anthony Joshua. Shit, honestly, I'm kind of wanting to see that fight a little bit more than I want to see him against Klitschko. Because it's much more intriguing. It's 2 young guys who are hungry for that title. Not saying Klitschko's not hungry, but he's not young. You know what I'm saying? I want to see 2 young motherfuckers that want to be champion. You know what I'm saying? And one that wants to stay the champion. So I'm very intrigued. I mean, he's got good hand speed. He's got good upper body movement. He's got quick feet. He's got a nice jab. He's got a beautiful fucking straight right hand that be cleaning niggas' clocks. You know what I'm saying? He's a very good fighter. But the last 2 wins, bro, are mired in controversy. Okay? Now, this win right here, I think it was in the 3rd round he knocked him out because in the 1st round he dropped him. Okay, dropped him with a beautiful right hand, sneaky right hand. He came from the outside, threw the jab, weaved his way inside, came with the right hook on the inside, dropped Dimintrenko, right? And it was funny because it was on cue. The commentators were like, "Yeah, Carlos Takam was a good test for him, but Alexander Dmytryk, oh man, he's so big. Oh man, it's a different kind of test." And I'm thinking in my head like, no, Dmytryk has not been the same since getting knocked out by Kubrat Pulev 4 years ago. Okay, yeah. His combined record of opponents in his last 6 fights before Joseph Parker and after Kubrat Pulev are 54 and 59. Like he's been fighting straight nobodies. He's before this fight, I was like, Parker should knock this motherfucker out quick. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
He's not the same Dimintrenko he was 6 and 4 years ago. All right. Yeah. Carlos Takam was easily his toughest test to date, even after this fight. But the commentators were saying that shit, and then right on cue, hits him with that right hook, knocks him down. Okay. Yep. Fast forward to the third round. All right. I think Parker lands a right hand. Kind of backs Dimintrenko up. Dimintrenko comes in. He's coming forward. As he's coming forward with his left hand, Parker throws a short jab, lands a short jab on him. They fall into a clinch. Parker leans on Dimintrenko. Dimintrenko goes down on one knee. Parker lands a fucking right hook to the body while Dimitrenko's knee is on the canvas. Yeah. Hits him in the liver. Dimitrenko's rolling around on the ground and shit. Spits his mouthpiece out, and the fucking referee counts him out. Yeah. So are you telling me? Wait. This reminds me of Roy Jones, Montel Griffin. Yeah. Montel Griffin was on his knee. Roy Jones hit him with a right hook. He was disqualified. Yeah. Dimytryk was clearly on his fucking knee. Okay? It was clear. The referee was standing right there. Parker leans on him in the clinch, forces Dimytryk to one knee, and then lands a right hook clearly in the view of the ref to his liver. How do you not call that? If you don't disqualify Joseph Parker, which I don't want to see that happen. I didn't even want to see Roy Jones get disqualified. So I don't want to see that happen. Don't count the motherfucker out. Let him get up and give him 5 minutes. It was an illegal blow. His knee was on the canvas. Okay? But they count him out. Joseph Parker gets a controversial KO win. But what I want to mention is what a lot of people don't understand. Right before this against Solomon Hamanu, that was a controversial win. Okay? The referee, Bruce McTavish, counts out Solomon Hamanu at 8. But he said, no. He moves in to like shake his gloves, but then he says, no, I'm calling the fight off because he didn't make the count. But it's clear to the TV commentator Colonel Bob Sheridan, who said his count was at 8. Okay. And then later on, the official timekeeper, David Kettle, from the New Zealand Professional Boxing Association, he told the Daily Telegraph, a magazine out there in the UK, I believe it is, he told the Daily Telegraph that McTavish missed at least 4 seconds in his count. Wow. So Solomon Hamanu is actually fighting that decision, and now Alexander Dmytryk is fighting this decision. What do you think about this, man? I mean, we're not knocking Joseph Parker. He's a good fighter. I want to see him against Anthony Joshua, but are they trying to make him look good? 2 controversial wins in a row?
Yeah, you know what? Something does smell kind of fishy. Yeah. It does. But in that fight with Dmytryk, he clearly did not want to be in the ring.
No, he did.
With Joseph Parker.
No, he did.
He couldn't stay on his feet. He couldn't stay balanced. Every time he got touched, he got hurt. But to answer your question, I don't know. I tend to think that they are. They're trying to make Joseph Parker look good. They want to build his record up. Yeah. Because he's another guy like Anthony Joshua that's very, 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 very easy to promote. Right. He's got crossover appeal as well. He can, and he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. He's an entertaining guy. The heavyweight division really needs him. So regardless of what's happening in these fights, I think that they're definitely going to try and push forward past it and keep him fighting other guys. The last thing they want to do is go backwards.
Right.
But in the Dmytryk fight, I did tend to overlook what Joseph Parker did because I was so disgusted by Dimitryk's performance. He was not competitive.
Yeah.
Like I said, he didn't want to be in the ring. I honestly looked at what Joseph Parker did to Dmytryk as a way for Dmytryk to get out the fight. He took a shot that was a hard shot. It was a hard shot, but it wasn't no Gennady Golovkin type of a body shot. He took the right hand, he falls to the ground, he's rolling over, writhing in pain.
Yeah.
And he spits his mouthpiece out, and the referee starts counting. Now, I'm almost certain, according to the rules, that does warrant a disqualification.
Yes, it does.
The opponent was down. He was on one knee. He was clearly on one knee.
Clearly.
And Joseph Parker, I think he was frustrated with the way that Dmytryk kept grabbing and holding him. And if you go back and kind of watch right before the knockdown and some of the other knockdowns, Dmytryk was lowering his shoulder and his head whenever they were getting ready to clinch.
Yep.
And he was using his shoulder and his head, and I do believe that it frustrated Joseph Parker, and he hit Dmytryk when he was down. So it is what it is. I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch because I know. But the only reason why I wouldn't mind it is because I know that Parker's gonna knock him the fuck out.
Right.
And I really believe Parker would get him out of there in at least 1 to 1.5 rounds.
Yeah.
The fight was nowhere near being competitive. So it is what it is. But I agree with you, 2K. I do think that there could be something going on with Joseph Parker, not in terms of getting unfair decisions in his fights, but in terms of some things are being overlooked.
Right.
So I guess it is what it is, but man, I definitely want to see him and Anthony Joshua.
Hell yeah.
I'm not even thinking about Klitschko right now.
Hell yeah.
You got Joseph Parker that's 24, which was shocking to me. He looks so much older than that.
Yeah, he does.
And you got Anthony Joshua that's 26. These guys are in their primes. They're undefeated. I think one guy's 17-0, and then you got Joseph Parker that's, 20, 21, 22, 23-0, something like that.
21-0, 18 knockouts.
Man, that would be a great fucking fight. I do believe they're going to try to keep these guys away from each other. They're too marketable right now.
Oh, yeah.
So, I guess we have to wait and see.
Well, they won't make that fight anyway this year because, of course, he just fought this past weekend, and Anthony Joshua already has November 26th locked up in Manchester, UK. Yeah. So Joseph Parker's not going to go from New Zealand to the fucking UK with no rest to fucking train for a heavyweight title fight against Anthony Joshua in just a month. Yeah. And furthermore, they're already eyeing Andy Ruiz for December 10th showdown anyway, which is an excellent.
That is a good fight.
If Andy Ruiz can stay in shape, he's not pulling the Chris Arreola. Actually, he's worse than Chris Arreola when he's not in shape. If you look at his weight, how he fluctuates in weight throughout his career, he's worse than Chris Arreola. Yeah. If he stays disciplined, which through his own mouth he says he has a problem being disciplined. So if he can actually get that down, stays underweight, stays trained, disciplined, that's a fucking excellent
fight.
That
is a great fight.
And I would like to see that in the U.S. I want to see that in the U.S. I want to see that in the U.S.
Yeah.
Get Joseph.
I wouldn't mind it.
Get Parker out there. Get him out there.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Cause
I definitely wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, he's a very good fighter. He needs the attention of other nations. Not just the Australian people or maybe even just the UK. Get him out there in the United States, man. Let him show his worth in front of the American people, man. Because there's some good matchups here in America. You got Bryant Jennings. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of cats that he could fight that are American fighters that actually could put him on the map as well. I mean, Carlos Takam is American, I believe. You know what I'm saying? So get him out there. I want that fight in America, B.
I wouldn't mind it. But let me say this before we go to the next topic. I do think they're trying to keep some of Andy Andy Ruiz's training habits, intact because he's already fought 3 times this year. Yeah. So that is a good sign. I think they want to keep him busy. They need to keep him busy if he's got training and discipline problems.
Right.
So keep him fighting. If they can make this fight for December, please do it.
Well, he just pulled out of the Hughie, aka Huggy Fury fight. You know what I'm saying? That nigga Huggy. You know what I'm saying? He just pulled out of that fight. That was supposed to happen this month. I think it was October 10th actually. So, man, they do need to keep him busy. If he's pulling out of that fight, just keep his ass in the gym. Make sure he's not fucking outside the gym eating ho-hos and fucking tacos and. You know what I'm saying? All that other bullshit, man. Just get his ass in shape. Keep him in the gym. That would be an excellent fight. All right, fam. We're going to go ahead and end it right here. Ain't no other topic, man. We already went 30 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and end it right here. YouTube, do what you do in the comment section. Let us know what you think about all these topics. But be real. This is real talk for real fans. 1.